everybody, welcome back to my channel again today. I just want to say a big warm welcome to everybody and a huge thank you for all the wonderful wishes and all the amazing compliments that you left yesterday on my channel for my birthday, which was yesterday the 24th. So I just want to say I was just so overwhelmed by all the love and all the support, and oh wow, I was speechless. It took me hours to get back to everybody, but it was so lovely to read all of your comments, and I'm just so grateful. I can't thank you all enough. So thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to next week, Sunday, the 3rd of May, so we can draw the journal and one of you can have that sent to you in the post, sorry. So yeah, that was just amazing. I had a quiet day, but it was really lovely. You all got involved and made my day really very special. So can't thank you enough. Wow, I'm still reeling from that. Now today I'm going to do another exciting envelope, and I've got number 8 here. So my benchmark was 10. So I'll see how I go, but so far so good. And what I've done here today is I've got a tinier little example, although I've still used 2 envelopes, and I'll show you again what I've done with that. So I'm using Antique Paperie again, and these die cuts are the Tim Holtz Sizzix Wildflower die cuts, as I like to use those. And I'm using 2 sheets of paper, which I'll show you in a minute. So what we have here, I've got a little front over here with a window, and we have a little, trying to grip it here so I can show you, a little card that I've made and put in there. So that goes into our little window with the butterflies peeking through. And you lift that one up like that, just checking this is still in focus. And we've got a little tuck spot with 2 little cards that I've put in over here. A little bit of lace, that's the other side of the card. Then we've got another little window over here with a die cut, and that's also got a little journal card that slides in there. And some die cuts and goodies, and then you open that one up like that, and we've got a nice journaling spot over here. I've added some quotes today which come from Amity Bloom. Happiness is homemade, so I thought I'd put some quotes in here so when you're journaling you can bear that thought in mind. Then we've got another pretty picture which also has a little journal card poking out over there. So there we go. That goes in there, and then we open that up again like that. We've got another journaling spot over there. This says be grateful for your life, with a little die cut over there, and in the middle then we've just got a little pocket over there with a couple of bits I've put in over here. So that's what we're going to make today. So I hope you like that. It's quick and easy, not too long at all. And I just thought that worked really well. So you could fold that one in, fold that one in, fold that one in, and there you go. I would have not covered the back. I would stick that onto my page. So if I had a page, so this is not folded as an A4, I would stick that in like that. You could make it a little bit lower, stick it on 3 sides and have a tag sticking out there if you wanted to, but I would probably just stick it on my page just like that, and maybe stencil or do a few bits and pieces around there. It doesn't have to be a plain page, but that's what I thought we'd do today. So that's not too thick either, pretty thin. So that was the first one I made. So let's get ahead and let me show you what you need, and then we can make this quickly together. All right, so I'm going to put that aside for the moment. What I've got here is 2 envelopes again. I'll give you the measurements of these, but you could use, as I always tell you, whatever measurements, whichever envelopes you have. So if I have a look at these, These are just over 8.5 inches by just 4.25 wide. These are window envelopes. Now, Jean was saying to me about using recycled envelopes. This one I did use recycled envelopes. As long as the envelopes are pretty similar in size, it will work. So you're going to take one and you're going to halve both of these. So that's what I did here. But I didn't have enough that were the same size to show you again. So you can, I encourage you guys to use the recycled mailers that you get in the post, you know, and you don't have to use window envelopes. You can create your own window or just stick a picture on the top there. It doesn't have to have a window. But that is just what I had from the mailers that I had. All right, so what you want to do is you need 2 envelopes. So that's the first thing you need. I've used a couple of die cuts. You can fussy cut out some lovely floral flowers or something. I'm just looking behind me here. Let me just grab this. I mean, something like this where I've cut out a pile of fussy cuts. You could use this kind of thing. This is just from old books that I have. So that's the one thing. Or the other thing is you could use, these are all die cuts that I've cut out. And I've just used them in the shades that I like to use. Gosh, I've got things mixed up here. So these, as I said, are the Tim Holtz Wildflower die cuts, the Sizzix Thinlits. That I like to use a lot of as well. So those are the choices I would suggest. But of course, whatever you have and whatever you want to put onto your decoration is your choice. I'm showing you the basis of the sort of idea of what I'm doing, and how you decorate that is your choice. This is just what I've done today. All right, so that's what I've got there. If you wanted to copy what I'm doing, then what I have used, let me grab it here. I have used this page here, which is from Antique Paperie, and I think this one's called Victorian. But just look up in the box below and I'll put the exact name down. I think this one's called Victorian. And then the other one I've got is this one, which is from the Daphne collection, which I've used before. We've used the Daphne collection before. I haven't used this particular page, but that one has got some of the similar florals, as you can see, in it. And so I decided to use these 2 today. So that's the 2 I'm going to use. So it's these 2 pages I'm using today. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our 2 envelopes and we are going to fold them both in half. So we're going to just fold these exactly in half, and you are going to sort of mess up the windows, but don't worry about that because it does sort of bend like that. Don't worry about that at all. Just get them folded in half. Use your bone folder or ruler or button knife, whatever you have, just to make sure that you've burnished those folds really well. Okay, so the one we're going to leave as it is. The other one we want to cut in half with our scissors, or I'm going to use my craft knife. So I just want to make sure that I get this directly in half. So let's just make sure that that's even. Okay, I think that's all right. Okay, so there we go. So there's the 2 halves, and then the one that's folded like that. Okay, so what we need to do now is we want to use our pencil. And if you have a look at what I've done over here, I've got one at the top, which is going to be this one here. All right, that one's going to have an opening over here. So what I like to do with my pencil is just draw an arrow on both sides there, so that I know that it's got to open on that side, because these things get confusing, and I've already confused myself once. All right, so that's the first bit. Let's just make sure we burnish that. Just don't really well. Make sure it's really well bent. Okay, so that's the first one. Then we've got one that's going to be this one over here, and you can have an opening over there. So that will be the one that we've cut like that, and you want the flap open, and that means it's going to tuck around there like that, and the opening for this one is going to be over here. So we just want to draw that over there. Okay. Then the one at the bottom doesn't have a window at all, and the opening for that is on the base. So let's just take this last one here. We want the opening underneath here, and the flap goes around the base here. All right, so that's going to be on underneath, that's going to fold over, and that one's going to go like that. So let's just put our arrow on this one here so that we know. So right, we've got the base of what we want to do now. All right, so that's all nice and sorted. Don't worry about any of that, we'll fix that all. I think what I'll just do is quickly is just trim that off a little bit, just a sliver. Don't know why I want to say slither. Right, here we go. Okay, that makes it nice and neat, and it's made it ever so slightly smaller, which is fine. Okay, yeah, and I think I'll do the same with this one, because you live and learn as you do these. The first one, you pick up little tricks when you do it again, so that's why it's always want to take a little bit off here as well. And it just gives me the opportunity to straighten it up as we go. There we go. So there we go, nice and neat. And I'm happy with that now. So the top one will come over, the bottom two will be tucked in. So that's that way, that's that way, that's that way, and all together like that. We've got a nice neat finish. All right. So there we go. So now we're ready to start putting this all together. So let's start with the base. So I'm going to start with this one. No, I'm going to start with this one over here. All right, so I'll just put those to the side for a minute. Now what we want to do here is we're going to have our opening there. So the first thing that we want to do is I want to make the opening here by taking off a little very thin sliver, but not from that bit there, because that doesn't need to be opened. So just make it as narrow as you have to, like that, and just take a notch in there and straight down. All right, so now when you look at it, you should have an opening over there, and that's perfect for what we want. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to start layering up some of these bits and bobs on the top here. So what I've done is I've taken this piece of paper here, and let me just grab my little bits and pieces. What I've done is I've taken this top section here, and I tore off this bit in the corner right here. Okay, so it's about the amount that's going to cover this piece here. So however wide your envelope is here, and that bit I'm going to stick down just like that. So however wide your gap is there, that's what I've done there. So that's that from that slither bit right there. Then I've gone to the opposite side right over here, because I didn't want this dark piece in the middle, and that's why I've gone to the opposite side, and I've taken this piece over here, which is going to cover up this section here. So I've stuck that down. I'm going to stick that down over like that, and I'm going to have that piece over like that. So all that remains to be done now, oh, I forgot to tell you, is I've also used Artie Maze's floral collage, this is, which goes really nicely with this. as a scrap. So what I've done here is I've just torn off a thin strip, and I'm going to fit it in over that window there like that, and over that little piece like that, and that will just bridge all the gaps, and I'm going to stick that all down now. Alright, so that's how we use the bits. It's a piece off there and the piece over there. Alright, so let's do that. I'm going to stick this down quickly, and I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac glue. So what we want to do here is just quickly give it a very light, or however dark you want to do it, a bit of an ink, and these two. Got a new sponge on this today, and now it's not working as well as I like it to. It's the thing with a new sponge. It's nice because you don't have bits breaking off, but it doesn't quite hasn't sucked up enough ink to be really useful. Okay, so let's start off by putting these ones down first. So we're going to do that, and we want to just make sure that we get this glued right to the edges. Okay, right, so we're going to stick that right over the window there, and oops, slippery. There we go. So that's going to go there, and I'm going to do the same with the bottom. I hope you guys are all well. We've had some lovely weather here today, but I believe the weekend's going to be not the same. It's going to be rainier, so more crafting weather, which is good. Can't complain about that, can I? I wasn't going to mow the lawn tomorrow, but I don't think, if it's going to rain, I won't be able to do that. So we'll just have to see. Really need to do it, but I also feel I've got nice dandelions and things in the grass at the moment, which is not great for the grass, but I always think of the bees and think, well, you know, what about them? And if I keep mowing the lawn every week, then the bees and the butterflies and the other pollinators sort of get the short straw kind of thing. Right, so we've got that bit stuck down as well, so I'm happy with that. There we go. Okay, no problem there. Now, I'm quite happy with all of that. That I suppose could have moved a bit further down, but oh, it's gonna, there we go. All right, so I'm happy with that little window peeking out there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just quickly loosen up this section gently with my bone folder. You can do this with anything, I suppose, because I just want to stitch around. See, that'll come away, but I'll glue that down at the end. So I just want to, well, it doesn't, yeah, let's do it like that. So what I'm going to do quickly is I just want to stitch around the edges, so that it's just for a decorative effect. You don't have to do that at all, but I'd like to quickly just do that. So I'll be back with you in a second. Okay, so I'm happy with that. That looks absolutely fine. So now I can stick this bit back down. I'm going to do that with my same glue here. And just make sure that you go really close to the edge here. Although you don't want to go over, because you don't want the journal card to catch on here, so you want to stick it down, but you don't want to close the pocket up and make it too narrow. So oops, I've overdone it with the glue there, so just get one of my trusty wet wipes out. That smells divine. Okay, I'm just going to rub my glue down like that, so that's quite fine. And then at the same time I'm going to just cut off that little extra piece there, and there's an extra little piece. Yeah, alright, so there we go. We've got our opening over here now, so that should be absolutely fine. So there we go, that's all sorted there. So I'm happy with that. Now with this, we can close this flap down. We don't need this for anything, so go and glue that down or close it quickly. And now we can just take our little bone folder again, and I'm just going to re-burnish this section here like that. Okay, now if you want to, and I'm going to quickly just do that, this would be a good time just to stress the corners of any parts that are sticking out, especially if you've used a white envelope. This is ivory, but and I love ivory envelopes because I don't have to worry about covering the bits that I don't want to. I don't like the blue bits from the mailers. I usually stick a little scrap on that section, if I'm honest, just to cover that up, and that would be a good thing to do, and that's easy enough. Okay, right, so we've got that bit sorted. So that's the top bit, and we know we've got our little our little journal card that's going to go in there, and I have made it, so I'll just talk you through that quickly. What I did was I used this piece here, so it comes from this area right here, which is below the piece you've torn off there, and that section there. So you know how I measure that. I take my ruler, I push that inside the envelope, I see how far it goes down, pull it out and all. I don't want it more than 4 inches. That makes sure I've got plenty space. And then I do the same with the side, and I know it's 4 by 4, so that's how I work out the depth of that. So I've cut that out, and what I've done is I've stuck on 2 butterflies here. So what I did was once I'd stuck on the piece onto my card, I then just looked through the window and looked at the letters to see what my sort of moving area was, and then I just stuck the 2 butterflies on like that. So it's as simple as that, really. All right, so we've got our first card done, and we've got the first flap done. Now we can quickly just finish off the front here, and what I want to do is just stick on 2 of these die cuts from the Tim Holtz Sizex, and I'm going to stick them on like that quickly. And then I've just got a little butterfly and a little word that I'm going to put at the bottom. So I'll fast forward this for you if you like. Let's see how we go. So I'm going to use this little syringy thing to put this on, and these can be really fiddly, but I think I get used to it, and I can do it pretty quickly usually. Something you just get used to. I just love these. I think they just give such lovely finishes, and you've seen me use them in quite a few of my projects. Lovely to use with cardstock or plain paper scraps. Another way to use your scraps. I don't always make them plain. If I've got lovely scrap colors that I like, or just the normal die cuts, I cut them out of that as well. Alright, so I've got 3 different ones for these. I was going to move this over like that. And I'll try and remember to put the numbers in the description box for you. I know one's called Wildflowers, there's one called Wildflower Stems. You know, they are really handy. So it's one of the things I could say that I've had a lot of use out of in so many different projects. So it's a great investment, really. Yeah, so you've always got flowers, and I love fussy cuts as well. Sometimes I like combining these die cuts with fussy cut flowers. You can do that, and it does look really pretty. You know, you don't only have to use these, or if you don't have these, you don't have to use these at all. I mean, projects are beautiful with die cut flowers, but sometimes, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of fussy cutting. I have to be in the mood for it. If I'm watching a film or something, which I don't do much anymore. I like my audiobooks. So I think I'm going to place it here like that. And I'm quite happy with that. And don't be afraid, it doesn't have to go. Place them how you want them. And then all we do is take our scissors and cut the stems off where they exceed the edge of your envelope. You know, and how pretty is that? Is this stuck here? Just going to, I love these little syringe bottles. I got them off Amazon, and they work a treat. So really lovely. And then I've just put a pin in here like that. And it works a treat. So here I've just got an old, a really old, I think it's French letter. You can see it's a real document, and I love tearing it up and using it. And I love incorporating some kind of script in my projects as well. So I do love these. Right, so we can just stick that at the bottom like that. That's really nice. And then I just want to take this butterfly, and I know someone's going to ask me. I get these off Pinterest. I resize them. You can mess with the colors on the, when you know, with your images and stuff. So I just collect a whole lot and resize them. I do want to work on possibly making a digital myself, not with any of these, but I'm thinking of working on something myself for butterflies. I must just get my A into G. Right, so there we have the front, and that's looking really pretty already. So happy with that. Everything's perfect there. Only thing that I have not put on is my little pearl. Gotta have a pearl. So I've got one stuck right here, so I'm going to take it off, and we will try and put that one right there. There we go. Oops. Okay, so if I bring that up slowly, then you can see how it's looking. All right, so that's our front. Okay, so we're getting there, Right, so let's open this up now, and we will tackle the base. So the base, we're going to use the Artie Maze paper. And the four that I've cut 4 of these pieces out here, which fit slightly in from the size of my envelope, and I'm going to stick the first one down on the base. Alright, so just gonna do this a little bit. Now I didn't stitch around these ones on the inside. I've only stitched on the fronts of everything. So this one's going to go right here like that, and I'm going to glue that down. So this doesn't have a pocket coming out anywhere, so it's much easier and quicker to do. So that one, just like that, goes close to the edge as you dare. And as I'm not stitching it, I'm using this Fabri-Tac glue. So I'm going to just centralize that quickly like that. Move that across. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so that's the base one now. And then what I did was, taking you back to this over here, I've taken this bottom corner here and I've cut that out, the width of this blue paper, and stitched around it like that. And that I'm going to stick down right here to make my little pocket. So again, I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac glue, and I'm going to just run the little bead on the 3 sides. And I always tell you, hold the piece on the side you don't want to glue. So that's for all the beginners out there. Then because I tell you, there will be plenty times that you glue somewhere and you think, oh gosh, that was the side I wasn't meant to glue. That's happened to me too many times. So now that's what I do. Okay, so we've got that little bit done. Now what I did here was, I have got this really nice washi that I got off Amazon. You get these all over, and it's a nice script. So what I did was, I just took a piece of scrap, trying to find a piece. That wasn't it. It was more of a plainer piece without too much on it. Come here, I can't pick it up. Something light like that, and I just took a little piece, tore it like that. Give it a bit of an ink, and what we want to do is we want to stick it down over there, but this way, like that. And then I'm going to just put a little bit of this, tear it off and stick that on that as well. So just take this quickly. Okay. Oops. So what's everybody up to this weekend? I hope you've got something nice to do. There we go. Stick that over there. I'm probably going to end up doing more crafting because that's what I like to do. And then I'm going to just stick this like that over like that. So it's just a little bit of script coming in there, nothing overly exciting. And then we'll put our little bits and pieces in there in a minute. So let's do this section now quickly. Again, we want to put one of these on and stick that down there like that. So let's do that. This is a really useful kit, and I do use this floral collage Artie Maze kit for quite a few things because I love this aqua shade. So that's the reason I seem to use it quite a lot. This and the greener one. Right, so this is going to go up there like that, and we can stick that down. All over. So what's your favorite glue to use? That's a good question I'd love to ask everybody. What is your favorite glue? I suppose I like this 3-in-1 glue or Fabri-Tac glue, but it is very pungent, and I've heard Gina say that as well. So I am trying to move more to a PVA glue, which I've put in that little bottle. But sometimes when you've got fabric and stuff, then this is the best. It is really. Okay, so what have we got here now? We've got to make a little tuck spot, which I've just taken scraps with and sewn the 3 together. So that's what we want to do there. So what I did was I just took from that same pile, you'll see you'll have some scraps over. And maybe what it's good to best to do is have a look. Now when you're cutting from the sides, you'll see they're thin bits that you use. I've taken a little bit of this. I've taken a little bit, and I think this bit, where does this bit come from? It comes from the other sheet, which we haven't got to yet. It comes from this side here, because we're going to use this piece in a minute. Alright, so, and then I've put another little scrap that was lighter on the top. I've sewn all 3 of those together. I'm just going to run the ink over that quickly, and I've made it long enough so that it can fit the length of this. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hold the side I don't want glue on, and I'm going to put glue on those 3 sides to make a little tuck spot. So that's what I'm going to do there. So let's just get that glue down like that. Okay. Turn this around and stick it over there, just like that. Okay. I'll make it a little bit higher. I don't want it to go into the crease. Don't stick anything in the crease. You make a rod for your own back if you do that. Okay, rather lift it up a bit and trim off the top if it's gone down too far. We're going to cover that with, I'm going to cover that with a piece of lace shortly. Right, so you've got your little tuck spot sorted there. So now what I did there was, you can use some glue because we want to stick down a little piece of lace that's just going to stick over the top here like that. Just peek through. So I thought the best thing to use was I'm going to use this, but no, I'm going to use what I used earlier, and it's just my double-sided tape. So I am so sorry. I'm going to have to just move this to the side quickly and get this out. Sorry. So I hope you're all right there. And I've got this very narrow double-sided tape, but you can use your Fabri-Tac glue or anything else that you choose to use. Yeah, I'm looking for the start. There we go. So I'm just going to put this right close to the edge as I can, like that. This stuff does stick down really well, which is great. Then I'm going to just lift that up, and I'm going to cut it off right at the end there, like that. Just run my fingernail over there, so it's really, I know that it's going to be done well. And then I'm going to take this and just look for the bottom of that tape, because I don't want it to stick to the goodie below. If you've got any of that sticking out, it'll catch onto this here. Right, so let's just take the sharp scissors and just cut off the end. That gives it a nice neat end, and that one's neat already. So there we've got a little bit of lace just peeking through, and it finishes off that edge nicely. And when you close it, then you've got a little bit of lace peeking through over there. So we just want to make sure that's nice and even. Yeah, that looks all right. Okay, so it's just a little bit of a nice finish there. Okay, I just want to make sure I've got this all lined up properly, as I do, and I have done this already, so that's all right. Okay, so we've got those 2 bits all ready and done for the ephemera. Now what we need to do are the wings on the sides. So what I want to do quickly is we're going to have a look at this one here with the window in again, and do that really quickly. So what did I do with the bit? Okay, so that's the plain one, and here's the one with the window. So that's got to go that way. So we want to attach that like that. So it's going to go on like that. So what we need to do is, we will end up sewing across there, but we need to make an opening on the side here. So let's just put that quickly over here, and we want to put that down, take our ruler, and we're going to again do a little bit of a sliver over there. Okay, so that will make sure that we have an opening over here like that now, right, because that's where the sleeve's going to go. At the moment it's completely open, but that doesn't matter. We know that it's going to go and attach itself like that. Alright, so what we want to do is we'll first put this all together before we attach it. So what I've done here is I've got my little collection here of what I need. And now we're going to go to the other sheet of paper, which is the Daphne sheet of paper. I love this paper. Isn't that butterfly beautiful? Yeah, so just see here quickly. Alright, okay, so I've got this Daphne paper and the butterfly is absolutely beautiful. I love that. That's really a pretty page. So what we want to do now is I've taken a piece, and you can see it comes from the top corner over there. Alright, so I've taken that piece there, and then I have, in fact, I've taken the whole bit over there and I've just torn it in half. And these two bits here are going to make up this bit here on the envelope. So that's where that bit comes from. Okay, so this is just going to go here, that's going to go there, and however you measure, I'm not going to give measurements because of course envelopes will be different. So let's just stick this on here at the moment. Okay, so get out your ink again, just run that over there if you like to do that, and the same with this one really quickly, just getting some of the torn edges rid of those. And then again I've taken another two pieces of the Artie Maze paper, and I'm going to use those to cover up the areas in between, so it makes doing an envelope, a window envelope, easy. So what we want to do is start off by doing the little bits on their own first of all. Oops, that was a bit over ambitious there with the glue. Yippity doo dah. So we'll stick that one out down here. There we go. I hope that one's wide enough. I'm not sure it is really. I think I'm going to take that off. Yeah, I think that's too narrow. I've tore it in the wrong place. So we'll stick this one on quickly and then I'll get another one. So we're going to do that. Okay, just make sure that it covers, goes right across, because you don't want to do what I've just done there. Okay, and then just a case of getting yourself another one that's going to be long enough. And that one's absolutely fine. That'll do the job. So we'll just stick that at the top. There we go. Right, and now we can stick our other two bits down. So we're going to stick this one on the narrow side. I hope you guys are all enjoying making envelopes from the series that I've done, and I really would love to see how they turn out. So please, I welcome you to tag me if you've got Instagram or Facebook, or you're in one of the Facebook groups. I'm not in a lot of Facebook groups, but if you have Instagram, or as I say, please tag me in. I'm angelakerr.50. You can see my description box below as well, and let me see how what you've been doing with the various envelopes. I'd love to see what everybody's doing with all of that. So please, I invite you to do that so that I can share in your creativity as well, which is lovely. Okay, again, a piece from that old letter. And then what I did was I'm going to use this die cut now, and I'm going to stick that on this side here, I think. Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll just use this again and stick this down over here. Yeah, so, and what projects is what's everybody doing project wise? Are you making a journal? Are you doing happy mail? I can't wait for the post offices to open properly. There are some I've been waiting for post, and I've had 2 entries from Laurie and Hannah that arrived so late, and no fault of theirs. I just want the postal service to go back to normal, you know, and we can't get things to Australia from here at the moment. That's closed, or suspended is the word they use. So I just want everything to work properly, because I mean, in this game we do rely on the postal service, don't we, ladies? And usually we have a brilliant one. It's nobody's fault. I mean, I'm just grateful it works at all, so I suppose I shouldn't moan. But yeah, it is a little frustrating. Right, so there we've got that sorted. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, before I stick this down, I know that this is the opening side, and in fact what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick a peg here, and I do that because the one I made before, I sewed it in the wrong place. I'm going to run this through my machine quickly, just on those 3, or all of these sides, but I'll start here first, and I'll just stitch there, open, and then I'm going to close it, and I'm going to stitch all 3 sides around, and I'll see you back here in a minute. So we've done that. Now what remains to be done quickly is just give that a little bit of a ink. Okay, so I'm happy with all of that. Oops, that wasn't good. Just ink it up. Okay, so this one has its opening over there, so I hope I've got that the right way around. And we then just want to stick this onto the back. So let's just make sure we get this in the right spot. So we want to tuck this one over here, and like always, just remember you don't want to put it right close there. You want 2 to 3 millimeters, like that. So we can put some glue there. Like that. This is fast drying glue. Right, so let's just double check. You can see I've got a little bit of a gap there, and then you want to just fold that over like that, and before you do it, just tap it so that you've got it straight as possible. Okay, and that can go a little bit further down, I think, actually. No, maybe not. Okay, I'd rather have it like that and ink it, because otherwise it doesn't close nice and flat, and that annoys me. So do that. So we're happy with that, and that's going to go like that, so that we're fine with that. Okay, and that's not too close there either, so that's good. And now we can put in our other card. Now the card that goes in the other side was also from this piece of paper from Daphne, and that's right there, and that's all I've done, and put a little tab on the end. So that's that one. So that's going to go into our envelope over here, just like that. And it's a really tight fit. And I'll tell you what you do if you've got a really tight fit. This is what I do. I take a little narrow piece off with my knife from each side. And don't cut your sewing, that's all. And it makes all the difference. Just that difficult that flap can be. There we go, that's better. Okay. Right. So we've got that in there, and we've got the butterfly peeking through, which is really pretty. And that's got to just get a cover on the back now. So we can do that quickly. And again, it's just one of these Artie Mays ones that we're going to cover on this section here. Now just remember, put a very thin slither of glue on the bottom here, so make sure that it's not going to touch onto the card. So pull the card out a little bit, and what I would do is just line this up here, and we want to just go the side of the stitching, so that's why this glue with a narrow point is great for this. And then more this side there, and then I'm going to just use my Fabri-Tac. This is the side that I don't want, so let's just do that. And then I'm going to make a line like that, just so that I don't go into the red zone. Okay. And then that goes just like that. There we go. And that's perfect, and that will fit that in there then. Yeah. Perfect. Right, so there's that side. Now what I had on that side was a little die cut finish, so I have put some aside here somewhere. So I'm going to quickly just stick a little green one over here, which I'll cut a little bit shorter. So we'll do that now, and put some of this on quickly. Oh, Abby's lying in her basket there. I can hear her snoring. She's fast asleep. Right, just had a hard day checking out the birds, and the mice. The bird feeder came out. The mice were there too. And then what I've got on here is I'm going to just put a couple of quotes. These come from Amity Bloom, as I said to you earlier. She's got some beautiful quotes about blooming and growing and family and all sorts of things. And I love quotes. So you can type up your own. You know, I'm a big fan of quotes. I've got a Pinterest account, and I think I've got 7,000 quotes on there. Things that have sort of appealed to me. So there I've got choose joy and peace, which is what's going on that side. So we're not far to go now. We've got that all sorted, so that's all looking great. So far so good. So let's just put this on here at the moment, and I'm going to burnish that in a minute. So the last bit to do now is this piece here. Oops, that's got to go on the other side. So we're going to do that quickly, which is no window at all, and then put something on the back, and then we're done. So let's quickly do that. So we've got this piece here, and it's going to open at the bottom, and the flap is going to close like that. So what I did was I took the Daphne page again, and I have taken a piece right from there, so from the edge right over there, and that's what I've done is I've stitched around the edge and distressed it. So I'm going to stick that straight onto that piece over there. So let's do that. Right. Okay, so that's going to go over here, just like that. Okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, so that's got to be, only side it's got to be open is at the bottom, so we don't have a worry with that. But I know from before that I needed just to take a slither off from the edge and just angle that a little bit. So that's that bit there. Nothing goes on the front there, so we're all right. Now the back is really quick as well. Again, it's just one of these. And I just want to put on a little bit of this. Like that. And then we're going to just stick that down like that. So we do that quickly. I'm loving all these envelopes, and I've got some lovely ones made up that I've got for some upcoming journals that I want to use. So it's always good to have a few of these done, so you got ephemera ready to go into your journals, which is nice. Okay, so that's like that. Now that's going to fit onto our page just like that. So we want to get this bit again, take that off, and then that's going to be in this bit over here. So we just want to make sure before we stick that down that that's where we want it, just like that. And yes, all right, so tap it down, hold it over. Let's just see. Yeah, that'll be fine. We're not too close to the fold line. And then just put some more glue like that, and then we can fold that over to the back. Okay, so that's all cool, I hope. All right, so that opens then like this. Hope this is in frame. It seems like it is. And then we want to quickly just put this on that side like that. Oops. Okay, so we'll just stick this down over here. Okay, and then again we have another little quote here. This one says, the pursuit of happiness, which is a choice we should make every single day. So choose happiness, ladies. It's an inside job. And it is. Took me a long time to work that out. Okay, so we want to just stick that over there like that. And here we have everything pretty much done. So all I want to do now is, after I've stuck in the top of my glue, is put everything together. So what I've got here now is just a couple of goodies. I've got some of these Tracy Fox cards. They come from the notebook collection called Botanist, I think. I've made 2 lots of these to a page, so they're slightly smaller. I've backed them onto some old book pages, just like that. So I'm going to put one of them up here, one of them down here. I've got Amity Bloom little herbal cards as well. So I'm going to put one up there, one down here. And then I've just got another one of these are from Antique Paperie. These are spring bloom, I think. Something like that. I'll look it up. It's a bit bendy. I'll put that in there. And then I just need to put in the journal card that's meant to go in here. And what I did here was I was looking for some scraps again, and this one came from this bit over here, right at the bottom. Okay, so that then goes at the bottom like that. So there you've got your card in there. We've got our insides in there. Nice places to write with a black pen if you want. That closes in first, that closes in second, and then that closes in third, just like that. So there we've got that one, and we have got this one, which is now, its card's gone in a bit, like that. And there we have our two little envelopes made. This one's a bit springy. This one was a bit springy. And then what I did was I just took my bone folder like that. And what I did was I took my little, oh, here it is, this little goodie. And I just clipped it on there for an hour or so. Or you can put it under a book. And then it just came right and went a lot flatter. So thank you everybody for joining me for this little exciting envelope episode today. That was quite a bit of alliteration. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I love making these. I'm hoping I can still come up with another 2 really nice ideas for you for envelopes. So let me know what you think about these, and as I said to you, share on Pinterest or Facebook or wherever what you're doing with some of these. I'd love to see them as always. So thank you so much for your support. Thanks for your wonderful comments again, and your lovely birthday wishes from yesterday. You really all made my day so very special, and I will see you very soon in my next video. So thank you everybody. Bye bye.